Yo, what is going on, you guys? Bashtian here, and today I'm coming at you with the second deck profile that we're going to be doing for this week, which is the Floowandereeze deck profile. So Floowandereeze is a deck that I have not played before, probably about like a month ago. I was very much against the deck, everyone, hating on it, whatever. I was on that bandwagon, hating on the deck too, but you know what? Sprite had its moment of glory. It was doing real good. They unfortunately made Tier Limit the most broken deck ever imaginable. The ban list did absolutely nothing. If anything, it actually strengthened Floowandereeze, so I said, why not? Let's go ahead and switch to the dark side, and here we are today. So I didn't want to necessarily make my deck the standard or as standard cookie cutter as a Floowandereeze deck can, because it can be pretty similar for the most part. I have not seen a lot of people actually play Macrocosmos D-Fissure in Floowandereeze, even though it works really well with the overall strategy and to counter a lot of the top meta decks, not just Ishizu Tier Element. It also counters, it hinders a lot of Sprite plays as well. It hinders a lot of other decks plays as well, so I think it works really well. It's a deck that I very much like. It's a card that I very much like, so I definitely want to go ahead and put it in here. But that's getting more into the actual profile, guys. The things I want to note real quick before I actually get to the deck profile, guys, is I know I've been gone for a little bit, but for those of you guys who have stuck around me with this grace period that you guys are giving me of around 2 or 3 weeks of not uploading videos, just want to say you guys are the realest MVPs, and I appreciate each and every single one of you guys so much from the bottom of my heart. And now with all that mushy nonsense out the way, let's get right into that deck profile. Alright guys, so we're going to start off just like every single other deck profile you guys have seen. We're going to start off with the monsters first. We got 3 copies of Robina, 3 Eaglin, 2 Stree, and 1 Tokan. So the only one that I think wouldn't be necessarily standard is having 2 copies of Stree. I just think it's really good to be able to have that additional interaction. It messes with your opponent's graveyard, which in any scenario, especially in this format more than ever, is really useful, extremely helpful in a lot of ways. I don't have the high rarity versions of this stuff, but I just want to pick it up to see if I can build it, and I actually really like the deck. Let's be real here. In Tokan, I was considering playing 2 Tokan or 2 Stree, but I think Stree is just a lot more valuable at the moment. And you don't want to play too many of the level 1 Floowandereeze because then it just gets a little bit too cloggy, but I think this ratio has worked out just fine. Next, for the other cards we play, I played double M-Pen, 1 Apex Avian, 1 Mega Monarch, and then 1 copy of the Barrier Statue of the Storm one. So these are the well, some are Floowandereeze, some not. So these are the other cards that we're going to be playing with the monsters, I should say, monsters in the deck. Of course, we do play the Shifter as well. Obviously, probably the best hand trap in the entire game at the moment. Let's just keep it real as far as that's concerned. But Barrier Statue, the Storm Winds, I mean, I believe it got banned in Master Duel. But as long as we still have it, we will continue to abuse this card. This card's probably the best Barrier Statue at the moment. And in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now, I think it's probably going to be the best Barrier Statue. And having great success with the Tri-Brigade Lyralist strategy, which was absolutely phenomenal. And now with this as well, with the Floowandereeze strategy. So 3D Shifter, 1 Barrier Statue. I've really considered taking out the Apex Avian and either putting in a 3rd M-Pen or a 2nd Mega Monarch, or just adding the 2nd Mega Monarch regardless. But I'm still in the testing process with this deck. I mean, I really like the way this deck plays out right now. I don't think I brick nearly as often as I should. I know there's a really big thing with Tribute Summon decks, Monarch, Floowandereeze, the True Draco, things like that. You just tend to brick quite a bit. But with this specific build, I am not bricking nearly as much because we are playing a lot of consistency cards, which we are going to see a lot in the spell lineup. But about spells, we played 3 copies of the Magnificent Map, 3 copies of the Advent of Adventure, 1 Unexplored Winds for your Floowandereeze spells. Really self-explanatory as far as all these are concerned. Put those to the side. Then we played for consistency 3 copies of Power Prosperity and 3 copies of Duality. I don't play the 1 Extravagance. I know a lot of people like to play 1 Extravagance, but I like to make sure that I'm actually able to activate all these cards first. And we play Prosperity over Extravagance because having 1 specific card is a lot better than 2 cards, especially in this deck, especially in Tribute Summon decks, because you need to make sure you have Tribute Fodder and your Tribute Summonables. So with this, I can go ahead and dig for the Robina in my deck. I can dig for the Stree, the Eagling, whatever I may need in the deck to make sure I have what I need before I go off with my plays. Or if I need a non-searchable card, I can definitely go ahead and get it with this as well. And of course 3 Duality because it's pretty standard. You don't special summon in this deck, or very rarely you do. You did see I do have an extra deck, which actually we can go ahead right now. Let's do this unorganized. The only 3 cards that matter are these 3. Okay, so you need one assembled Nightingale because it is a wing beast, wind, rank 1. You should easily make Downerd and Zeus, just in case you get into down in a weird place. The rest of the extra deck, if you guys are curious, is just the exact same one I used for Sprite. Just with these 3 cards added onto it, so that we get that out the way. Next, I do play 3 copies of D-Fissure in the main. I think this card is fantastic going first or going second. Going second, you want to activate this first because it helps stop a lot of hand traps that would hinder this deck otherwise. So it is really nice to have as well. But I just think D-Fissure is a fantastic card going first or second. The fact is, you know what? A lot of the reason why I'm playing this at 3 as well is because way back in the day, I used to, probably one of my first actual functional decks I ever built was a DD Warrior, DD Survivor, DD Warrior Lady deck. So I was very much focused on banishing everything with 3 Macrocosmos, 3 D-Fissure as well. So I think just bringing that back is pretty nostalgic for me, but also has a lot of actual applicability. Is that a word? I think it's a word. So anyway, 3 D-Fissure. Next, I play 3 Enemy Controller and 3 Dark Runomore for my board breakers. So I was really conflicted whether I wanted to play Triple Tactics Talent, Dark Runomore, Enemy Controller, or any variation combination of those 3 cards. I could play 2, 2, and 2, but I just really want to go ahead and maximize with the two that I thought were best. The Dark Runomore is obviously phenomenal board breaker. Just go ahead and activate this and you can go ahead and free about your plays. And that's the one gripe I had with Triple Tactics Talent, where it is really good. It gives you different types of effects that you can choose. It doesn't have the same impact with a Dark Runomore for this specific deck. I know in the event I'm playing a more combo heavy deck, for example like a Sprite deck, then I would definitely try to go for the Triple Tactics Talent. I think that would be a lot more beneficial, but this is good for now. And with the enemy controllers, I wanted to have an additional way to dodge any type of targeting negation, effect veilers, imperms, things like that. So if I'm able to take my opponent's monster, I think that's really a lot more beneficial than me activating Book of Moon, because it still gives me additional fodder as well. So that's why I love enemy control, because it's really good going second especially, but going first is really good to at least have that set up in the event your opponent has something crazy as well. And then for the last card in the deck, guys, we play 1 copy of Dreaming Town, and then you side deck into anything that you may need in the mirror match, things like that, imperms, effect failures that I just mentioned, drone lockbirds as well. Those are all really good if in the mirror match, so you side deck into those as well. I also play in the side deck Macrocosmos. I won't get into the side deck too much, but these are some of the cards that I definitely choose just in case you want more or less an understanding of what to play. So we've gone over the entire main deck and extra deck, guys, so that's actually going to be it for the deck profile. I'm not going to get too crazy with this. I wish I could show you guys some combos, but really the main combo is you normal summon Robina, you search, you get Eaglin, gets you an additional normal summon Eaglin, effect, search Empen, tribute, chainlink 1 Empen, chainlink 2, chainlink 3. These get added back to your hand. You search Dreaming Town primarily. You set it unless you already have it in your hand, and you're good to go. So if you're wondering how to play Floowandereeze, there's pretty much your main combo, your main bread and butter. Of course, this deck can get a little bit more intricate than that, but if you guys want to see actual test hands, let me know in the comment section down below. I'll be more than happy to go ahead and get that to you guys. At the end of the day, that is just more content that I'm going to be having on the channel for y'all as well. But I think for the most part, it's pretty user friendly. It's a pretty beginner friendly deck as well, and not overly expensive. I think I actually built a $50 Floowandereeze deck before the ban list, so if you guys want to see an updated budget version of this deck, definitely let me know in the comment section down below and I can go ahead and get that for you guys. But at the end of the day, Floowandereeze is just one of those decks that it's not hard to learn. It's can be a little bit if you want to master it as far as knowing exactly what to search at what times, but it really limits your options of what you need to do, so that makes it a lot easier to actually learn the deck, which is nice. What then really separates you from the more top tier players is not just learning Floowandereeze, because anyone can really learn Floowandereeze, but understanding the interactions between Floowandereeze, your cards, and what other decks do and what their end game is, so that you know exactly when to tribute summon for your Empen, when to tribute summon for your Mega Monarch, when to interrupt certain plays, what to do in certain times, and that way that's essentially what's going to get you the wins in the end. But enough of that, guys. I just want to go ahead and say, if you guys stick around, thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate each and every single one of you. Hit the like, subscribe down below, and the bell, and I'll see you guys in the next one.